All right, fellas. So I'm going to try to hit on some of the stuff with Jamie yesterday, and then also just try to kind of give us a lay of the land as far as what I think is probably the quickest and easiest way to go about this, especially now that I spent that time with Jamie yesterday. That was super helpful. So we're going to walk through that. I think I'm going to divide it up into segments so it's not such a long video. So we'll kind of do each, configure, then quote is as separate emails, and then proposal and work order, just in attempts to, information exchange. So we're going to go into our appointments. We're going to start it. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a lag time. So again, based on my learning with Jamie yesterday, I think this is going to be the best way. I'm going to go straight to configure and avoid the takeoff because it really is kind of unnecessary and just creates more work. So what we're going to do is go right to configure. I'm going to hit my plus button down on the bottom right. And then I'm going to start building windows. A good little trick that she taught me yesterday is, to filter it. I think this is what Rob was happening with your big triple slider. So let's just filter it by the type of window you want, and then you're only looking at these options. It's a lot less confusing since they don't seem to be alphabetical or anything else. So I'm just going to take a single hung, grab it. If you're doing moles, obviously you do it this way, but I'm just going to go with single. Maybe I'll do a mole next. Design. So you're going to build and configure it right now. Frame size, let's just say 35. 72. We are doing a single hung. Let's do a unequal sash. So let's go 3.5. And then I'm going to do Bahama brown and white inside. So I got that all built. I'll do matte black hardware. All this is very basic. Lift options, I'm just going to probably include it and just specify whether they want to have it or not. But that's definitely even though I have my, whatever you want to call it, configurations defaulted to no sash. I think probably sash lift, so it's there. And then, if they don't want it, they don't install it. Pick your glass, tempered. Let's say yes, we're going to temper it. Actually, let's say no, we're not going to temper it for the sake of copying and what we're going to look at next. Select your glass, any obscurity. I got my defaulted black perimeter spacer bar. No grills. Let's just say we're going to do brick mold. We're doing a half screen because it's single hung, so you got to change that. I have it defaulted to high transparency screen, which y'all should do. When I say defaulted, that yellow star, that means that that's my default for those of you that don't know. And I want my screen to match my Bahama brown, obviously, so it has the same color screen as the frame. On casements, obviously, casements awnings, you're going to do the screen surround to be the color of the interior frame, whatever that may happen to be. So if I want STC glass or Lamy glass or whatever, I can go here and click my upgrade or my tinted glass. That's where you're going to find it, is in the advanced options. Oh, window opening control device. Everything else is going to be the same. I have those defaulted to ship the screen loose, and then no requests for special assistance. So I got that. As you can see up in the upper right-hand corner under the save button, my pricing is on, and it seems to be working now. If, let's see if this changes it. Like if I want the window opening control device, see, it changed it automatically. So that's working. So it went from 3912 to 4002. So that as long as you leave your pricing on and don't turn it off, it should recalculate when you deselect or select options. So I'm pretty much good to go. If I wanted to mole, I'm going to mole here. If I want to put an adder, this is where I think some of y'all are getting tripped up. Dwayne, this is kind of what you and I were talking about yesterday. This is a line item adder. So if I go to select existing, all these little suckers have been put in here. So let's say I want a new sill, and then I'm going to R&R blinds. So I go down here and R&R blinds per window. And I got that in there in my adders. So I have 2 adders now showing up, line item adders, not project adders. And then I'm going to click save. So it takes a minute, but it's a lot quicker, I think, than doing separate takeoff and then configure. So from here, the way that we're going to utilize this is most simply is just click on your pencil, hit copy. I want to create a new opening, copy. And then I got my new window here. If I want to edit it, I hit the pencil again, I hit edit. And say this one is a 35 by, or say it's a 30 by 72. The only thing you have to be careful here is if you switch the height and you go to an equal check rail, you're going to have to change that. So here, I'm just going to say I want a 30 by 72 instead. Now, all my adders are going to copy over. Let's see, I think it gives an option, but let's just say I build my new sized window. I'm going to hit save. And now I got my new window down below. So same thing, copy. Now here's different. If you go create a new opening, it's going to create an entirely new opening. If you go copy the configurations to window 1, all it's going to do is change window 1 to a 30 by 72. So you're generally going to use the first one here, copy a new opening to the same configurations. Hit it. And then it's going to give you your next window. So, and then if you want to change from a single hung, say I want a picture window or a glider. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to copy a new, hit the copy button. And then here I'm going to go into edit. And this is where I can then select my sliding window. So I'll go back to product tab up top, and in the single hung here, I'm going to just say, no, I want let's just say, well, I want a glider. Hit done. So now all I'm looking at, I don't know why it's showing the single hung still, but because it might be this, I don't know why it's doing that. Product type, because I have single hung selected. So I deselect single hung. Now I got gliders or picture with the slider frame. So I just need a slider. So I'm going to go grab that. So it's a lot less touches this way, but you are going to have to wait a little bit and just be patient and trust in the long run. It's going to be a lot quicker than doing the takeoff then configure. So I got this. Then I'm going to change let's do a 72 by 35. So I got that. Everything else should still be the same, depending on which way I want it, XOOX. But all my colors, my glass, my spacer bar, all that junk is going to push over. So as long as nothing's changed with my hardware or anything else, my glass, if I need it tempered, obviously, we're just going to do that. If I need it obscured, we'll do that. Still got brick mold on there, so that's something to be aware of too, if you do or if you don't. If you don't need it, you just deselect it and hello. You just deselect it or change it and it'll go away. Half screen still, got my high transparency screen, got my color frame, screen frame the same. I'm still going to have STC glass on here, so I'll keep that the same. As you can see, it's selected. I just hit save and I've created my new gliding window opening. And then again, I can copy this and make a new new window with the same configurations. So hopefully you're getting the hang of this by now. So here, let's go to edit. I'll make a picture window. So I'm going to go back to my product tab up top, and instead of single hung, now I'm going to deselect single hung and go to actually my doors, because of... So here's another way to search them by full frame or insert. I don't know why my picture... Rectangle... I think we're just doing a rectangle. I don't know why picture isn't showing up here. So there's all different kinds of ways you can search this. I guess you can do just a rectangle, and then it's just going to be a picture without a double hung picture, a slider picture. Those are going to have, they're meant to be used like casement pictures. So they're going to have the double hung frame profile. They're going to have the slider profile, even though they're a picture window. I don't need that, so I'm just going to say infinity rectangle. And then go through, let's say we're going to make this 72, and we're not mulling. So here, because it's pink, that means it's required. So I'm just saying, hey, this is a standalone. Still got all my Bahama Brown, Stone White, tempered, let yes. And I'm pretty much ready to go. Still want the black spacer bar, so I'm going to hit save. I see my price, $57.55. And now I'm good to go. And let's say I want another one of those. So we're just going to copy, make a new window, copy. And that's how you can do that. So I think this is probably the most efficient way to go about this. Now, say that there's two ways to do this. Say that you know every window in the house has blinds. The probably quickest thing to do it is to do it all at once here. So I can go into my first window and do my adders, even though it's copied all these. So I'm going to have to choose a new adder. So select existing. Let's just say I want to do window casing on all of them. So I'll hit my interior window casing here, hit done, hit save. And now, so this is where it really, efficiency wise, really, speeds things up. If you're going to do adders, a single line item adder to pretty much every window, this is what you want to do, because it saves a heck of a lot of time. Or if you just know it's these couple, okay. But this is how you can import your adders to all windows like seamlessly in one step. And that's going to be quicker than adding it individually. So it's either way. You can do it the copy way that I just showed you, and it's going to copy all your line items, your line item adders, or you can do it this way and copy it to every single window in your package. Okay. It's still a line item adder, so don't get that confused. Now, say I need scaffolding, right? That's going to be in my project adder. So I'm going to go to my project adder tab. Going to go down to the bottom right, select existing, and all my construction crap comes up. So say if I need, where are you? Scaffolding was a bad. Scaffolding, I think, is a line item, which I did because generally we don't need scaffolding for all windows. So that's in the line item adders, and we can go back and do that. But just say I'm going to do, I don't know, what's a... So let's say I need a 10-foot header installed for some reason. So I'm going to add that. Now I have a project adder in there to, the overall project. Just hit finish. And now if I go back in here and want scaffolding, let me make sure it's there. That's half the reason I'm doing this. Say, okay, window 4, I know you need scaffolding. So I'm going to come in here and edit. I'm going to go to my adders. I'm going to go see these adders are all showing up, the ones I already added. Now I'm going to go and add scaffolding. So I think I may have Dwayne, I can't remember yesterday, but I know this came up in our conversation. I can't remember if I said it was a project or a line item. Scaffolding is a line item. It seems to make more sense to me because it's per window. So we're going to do scaffolding for that one window, hit done. It should ask me if I want to copy it. And I don't want to copy it, so I'm going to say skip all. And now I got my scaffolding adder in there. So now the next step is to get our pricing to populate correctly. What I'm going to do is click on retail. Actually, I'm going to hit add, and then I'll see the low interest. I'll see, hit it again. I hit the no interest. Hit it again. I have the cash value. And now this is going to take a little bit of time to buffer, but I'm going to go back to my retail and click the very top rectangle that says retail 30 day. I'm going to hit copy, and I want to copy it to all these configurations. This is an important step. And this is what I found out by trial and error, is if you copy these wrong, what's going to happen in the quote stage is your low interest, your zero interest, and your cash value could all have different prices if these aren't copied correctly. So it's super imperative that you do it this way to make sure the retail, the low, the zero, the cash all have the same package and all have the same package price. Because that's a very easy mistake to make, and I've had it happen when I was playing around, and this clarifies this is exactly how we need to do this. So I'm copying it to all the configurations to low, zero, cash. I hit copy. And the biggest threat here is if you do this step and then you go back and like, oh crap, window 12222, obviously that's going to be your room names that you're going to modify. But if I go back and change this one, I then have to copy it to the low interest, zero interest, or the cash value. I have to copy it to all three of those packages. Otherwise, my pricing will be different when I get to the quote stage, and you're going to be kicking yourself wondering what the heck's going on. Probably wasted an hour fumbling through that trying to figure out what was going on, and this is why. So once you populate this, you know that you're in a pretty dangerous spot, because any changes you make have to be pushed to, if assuming you make it in the retail, you have to push it to low, zero, and cash. Otherwise, in the quote stage, it's not going to account for that change that you made, which will throw off your pricing and could very well butcher the entire job if you select cash value and the only configuration change was made to retail 30 day. So they're different segments. You know, you got to think of it in different segments. Is once you add the low interest, zero interest, and cash packages, those all have to be exact identical replicas of the retail 30 day. So any changes you make back here on any of these windows, you then have to copy to low interest, zero interest, cash, or it's not going to work correctly at the quote stage. Super important, because it could be a very easy, very costly mistake to make if you make changes after you've gone to this point. So we can talk about that more, but it's super critical, and you do not want to make that mistake because it will ding you bad. So I got everything populated. I haven't made any changes, so I know 100% certainty that my retail, my low, my zero, and cash are all the same packages. I got my project adders up here for the header, and then all my scaffolding and sills and blinds are all in the individual line items. So now I hit finish, and we're good to go. So I'm going to stop the video here, and then we'll make a new video for the quote.